We just finished reading the book of Shemot, the extraordinary details about the construction of the Mishkan and what their spirituality that they represent are. And now in the book of Vayikra, we learn about the daily service in the Mishkan, in the tabernacle, and what they mean to us every single day in this year. And one of the most powerful psukim that we read about in the book of Vayikra is about the fire of the Mishkan. So much to learn from that fire. An eternal fire must burn on that mizbeach. It cannot be extinguished. And of course, you think about that, you think about the metaphor, the fire that must burn in each and every one of us's heart, a passion, a spiritual yearning, and a desire to do good. However, the rabbis say there's a contradiction here. On the one hand, it says that the fire will be burning on the mizbeach, on the altar, all the time. On the other hand, it says, Ubi'er alea hakohen etzim baboker baboker. The Kohen will set the fire on the mizbeach every single morning. In fact, the rabbis also tell us that there was a fire that came down from heaven to light the fire on the mizbeach. So which is it? Is there an eternal fire that's burning on the mizbeach at all times? Is there a fire coming from the heavens lighting the mizbeach? Or is it the mizbeach being lit up by the Kohen every single morning? What is it? What's going on here? The rabbis already in the Torah Kohanim address this, and they say, Af al pi shemitzvah lehavi min. Af al pi, even though there's a fire there, Af al pi she'esh min hagavoah, even though there's a fire from God on the mizbeach, mitzvah lehavi min hahediot. There's a mitzvah to bring even from our simple and mundane fire. There's a beautiful explanation I saw from my grandfather, Rabbi Bernard Pupko, who says the following: in the 20th century, there were two deviant ideologies going on in the world in huge conflict. There were those who said, like in the Dark Ages, everything is religion, everything comes from God, you must not take any action to change the way the world is going. Do not cure sickness, do not battle ignorance, do not spread literacy. Just stay out of this world. Don't touch it. That is the approach of the Dark Ages that led to so much pain and agony. And then in the 20th century, you also have the other approach that says there is no God, there is no religion, there's nothing. We must decide everything. These are the ideologies of Stalinism, of Nazism, of Mao in China, who had many millions killed because they thought they knew what was right. They could decide who will live, who will die, how many people will get to eat, and how many won't. These people decided they will be in charge of everything. And so these ideologies conflict. One says, similar to the Kohen lighting the fire, it's all in my hands. Others say, similar to the fire coming from God, it's all in God's hands. But the Torah teaches us, the Talmud teaches us, Afal pi she'esh min hagavoah, even though there is fire from the divine, mitzvah lehavi min hahediot, you must bring from the simple one, you must bring from yours. Even though God does so much for this world, you must do your part in making this world a better place, in inspiring spirituality, growth, dedication, kindness. Don't leave this world to be completely unchanged. You must change the world, even though there's esh min hagavoah, even though God blazes the fire of spirituality into this world. Mitzvah lehavi min hahediot, you must bring also from yours. It's fascinating because if you look at the difference, Rabbi Sachs points this out, others point it out, if you look at the difference between the Greek version of fire and the Jewish version of fire, they're very different. Why do we light the fire for Havdalah on Saturday night after Shabbat? Well, the Midrash tells us that when Adam sinned, it was on Shabbat. Adam and Eve were created on Friday. On Shabbat, they sinned during the day, and then the sun started going down, and they saw absolute enveloping darkness. And so when the sun started going down, Adam thought this is the end of the world. He said, I've sinned. This is it. The world is over. There's no more world. And God showed him how to make fire. God showed him how to turn on a fire. So we make the blessing of Borei Me'orei Esh on Saturday night. The Greek version, Prometheus, he steals the fire from the god of Zeus and whatever idol worship they have, and he's chasing him, and etc. What's the difference between the two versions? Judaism believes God makes us his partner in changing this world. He gives us the fire. He shows us how to create it so that we can change the world. The Greek mythology, no, the fire is something you must steal. You must do it all on your own. And so the imperative of the book of Vayikra is to combine the fire of the divine and the fire of the mundane, bring them together in a passion for goodness, for Torah, for mitzvot, and spirituality. Shabbat Shalom.